Welcome to the Shreveport Connection. This is Tommy. This video is on your SummerSlam results. And who was at SummerSlam? Celebrities. A future match in next year's SummerSlam 2015. Brock Lesnar, AJ Lee, and Dolph Ziggler are the new champion. Done with WWE for good. Speculation is she wants to have a family very soon with CM Punk. Riley and Ric Flair, woo, on the panel, live from the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. Supposedly sellout crowd, 17,500. Wrestler alive, and then they talked about Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. Booker T can't call a winner. Riley says if Lesnar wins, it won't be good for WWE Universe, and they talk about Brie Bella. And then we get a video package. And next we got JBL, Michael Cole, and Jerry Lawler at ringside, already ready for the pre-show match of Rob Van Dam versus Cesaro. Was out next, out to a nice reaction as well. And they lock up and trade holds. Cesaro slams RVD first. RVD comes back and catapults Cesaro across the ring. RVD with a kick in the corner. There's more problems with PS3 and iPad streams going out, and even my internet, the Wi-Fi connection went out, so I'd go hardwire, and it went out several times. RVD leapt onto the floor, but landed on his feet. Cesaro turned around to a big kick. RVD then got a pop and then Rolling Thunder on the floor. RVD then rolls Cesaro back in the ring, goes to work with kicks in the corner. Cesaro with a thumb to the eye to break the hold. Cesaro turns it around, beats RVD down in the corner. And Cesaro with big gut-wrench slam for a 2 count. Cesaro with more offense as we go to commercial. Back from the commercial, we got Cesaro having RVD down on the mat. And then RVD comes fighting back to his feet. Cesaro catches him in midair with a big knee to the spine. And then a 2 count. Cesaro looked good for a Rolling Thunder, mocking RVD. But stomps on RVD's chest instead. Cesaro with a 2 count. And then Cesaro with another headlock. And then RVD comes back with clotheslines. Cesaro counters a kick, but RVD turns it into a leg scissors for a 2 count. RVD then drops Cesaro with a kick. And then RVD split-legged moonsault for another pin attempt. RVD sent Cesaro to the floor with a thrust kick. Rob Van Dam moonsaulted from the apron out onto Cesaro. And then went to the top, but Cesaro knocked him off his feet with a big uppercut. And then Cesaro climbed up for a superplex, but RVD knocked him to the mat. RVD went for a frog splash, but Cesaro hits another uppercut. Cesaro climbed back up, and RVD sent him back to the mat. Once again, Cesaro hits another uppercut. RVD shoved him to the mat once again, and this time RVD leapt off into an uppercut for a 2 count. More back and forth action. And Cesaro with a running boot for a 2 count, and then RVD dropped Cesaro with a kick to the face. And then RVD eventually went back up top and nails a 5-star frog splash for the win. That's a surprise. RVD wins over Cesaro. We go back to the panel for more hype. Renee has Jake, Mama's Boy Tucker from the Totino's Bowl Show. It was a contest that they had a couple months ago about creating your own superstar contest that WWE had been running, and we will hear more from later in the pay-per-view, as Renee said. They talked about Orton versus Reigns before Ric Flair praised Reigns, but says Orton is the man today, the best wrestler in the world. Booker also goes with Orton. We get a promo for Lesnar versus Cena, and that's it for the pre-show 2014 SummerSlam pay-per-view. Open up with Hulk Hogan, coming out to a big pot. Hogan speaks from the stage and says, couldn't think of a better way to kick off SummerSlam than with the Hulkster. Hogan talks about how big tonight is and gets a pop for mentioning Los Angeles before plugging the WWE Network, probably for $9.99. Hogan says no matter where you are, you're paying $9.99 for the WWE Network, which isn't really true. We go to a SummerSlam opening video. Well, you pay for your network plus your internet. So it's not really $9.99. Intercontinental title match, Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz. Starts off the pay-per-view. We go right to the ring. Out comes Intercontinental Champion, The Miz. He says everyone in Hollywood, including Drax the Destroyer, wishes they had his money-maker face. Miz says he's going to make Dolph Ziggler the WWE version of the LA Lakers. Out comes Dolph Ziggler. We see the Spanish and German announced teams as Ziggler makes his way out. We also see Maria Menounos at ringside, back and forth to start the match. Ziggler with an early 2 counts. Miz avoids a shot to the face and then rolls out to the floor. Miz comes back in. Ziggler drops him, but Miz goes back to the floor. Ziggler follows with a clothesline. Ziggler brings him right back in the ring and blocks a kick, with Ziggler getting a roll-up for a 2 count. And then Ziggler took it to the corner, but Miz made a comeback. Miz whipped Ziggler hard on the front side first into the corner, and then he goes down. Miz stomped away, hits a big boot to the face for a 2 count. Ziggler followed out and got a headlock as fans chant, "You can't wrestle" at Miz. Ziggler tries to make a comeback, but Miz drops him and gets heat from the fans. Miz comes off the top, but Ziggler hits him on the way down. Ziggler then ducked the clothesline, hits a pair of his own. Ziggler with a splash in the corner and a neck breaker for 2. Miz blocked the Famouser. Ziggler skins the cat and decks Miz for a 2 count. Ziggler blocks the skull-crushing finale. Miz went for the figure 4, but it's blocked. Ziggler super kick for a close 2 count. Miz went to the floor and looks to leave, but Ziggler kicks him in the barrier. They come back in, and Miz goes for the figure 4, locking it in this time. Miz keeps the hole locked in and gets a 2 count out of it. And Ziggler finally made his way to the bottom rope, and Miz takes his time breaking the hold. Ziggler goes for the Famouser, and then Miz nails the skull-crushing finale that only gets a 2 count, which is a surprise. Well, it surprises Miz. And then they get up, and Ziggler ducked a big boot, and then hits a zigzag for the win. Winner and new champion, Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler had a big celebration after the match as Miz throws a fit at ringside. We go back to Tom Phillips and Brie Bella. She says she did a lot of reflecting during her incarceration. She says Stephanie McMahon has put everyone through hell, and tonight she's going to take out the she-beast because it's best for business. And next we get the Women's Championship, the Divas title match. We go to the ring, out comes Paige, and we look at their feud with AJ. And the Divas Champion is out next to a big pop. The bell rings, and we get some CM Punk chants. Paige offered a handshake as AJ bites her, and as it looked like, AJ grabbed Paige's hair and pulls her off some of her extensions out. Paige goes to the floor screaming. AJ follows and slams her face into the announcer's table. AJ rolls back in, but Paige gets the upper hand. AJ blocks a knee and sends Paige back to the floor. AJ went for a kick from the apron, but Paige grabbed her legs and slammed her face into the barrier. Paige skipped around, mocking AJ. Back to the ring. More back and forth action as both divas are going at it. Paige ends up on the floor. AJ leaps on the top and takes Paige out with a big dive. Both divas go down. AJ rolls Paige back in for a 2 count. Paige kicks AJ in the face, and then Paige goes for a move, but AJ turns it into the Black Widow. Paige drops the DDT on AJ for the win out of nowhere. Winner and new champion, 2-time Paige. After the match, Paige crawled over to AJ and then hugged her. Then we got Sting promos for the 2015 video game. And then in the next match, we get the flag match. And this was the most boring match of them all. so it says, but okay, we get Russev versus Swagger. We go to the ring, out comes Russev with Lana. The winner of this match will have their flag displayed above the ring. Lana cuts a promo and rips on Hollywood, calling it everything that's wrong with America. A color guard comes out to begin Swagger's entrance, and he comes out with Zeb Coulter and the American flag group. As Russev attacks Swagger before the match, and before the bell even rings and the American flag actually touches the ground, Swagger fights back and they're separated. Lana yells at everyone, including Russev. Fans chant USA as Russev sells a leg injury. The bell finally rings as Swagger unloads on Russev in the corner. Fans chant "We the People" as Swagger has control. Russev goes to the floor, but Swagger brings him back in. Russev lifts back out to the floor and Swagger runs him over. They come back in the ring. Swagger goes for the Swagger bomb, but Russev gets his knees up. Russev works Swagger over, but gets his ankle up. But his ankle is hurt. Russev with knees in the corner. Now, as Russev with a big kick to the back. And then Russev kept control as fans chant for Swagger. Russev with a headbutt and a bear hug as Russev keeps control and sends Swagger to the mat. Russev with a knee to the back. Swagger makes a comeback and hits a big clothesline. Swagger then gets a splash in the corner and a big boot to the face. Swagger then nails the Swagger bomb for a 2 count as Russev fights back. Swagger catches a super kick, goes for the Patriot lock, but is blocked. Swagger then slams Russev for a 2 count. Russev goes for the Swagger's injured ribs again and then hits a superplex. Lana tells Russev to crush him. Russev stomps Swagger's back and goes for an accolade, but his ankle gives out. Russev does the move on 1 foot and a knee, but Swagger powers out. Swagger locks in the Patriot lock, but and then he tightens it, pulling Russev back. Russev breaks it and hits a big kick, and then Russev locks in the accolade like usual and gets the win as Swagger passes out. He did not tap. After the match, Zeb came in to check on Swagger. Lana comes in and yells at Zeb. Russev runs over Zeb with a big kick to the head. Lana and Russev then stand over them as the Russian flag drops down over the ring and Russian national anthem plays. Just like I was saying last week. The match of the national anthem will play. Then we get a Mountain Dew promo and a video for Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose. Well, my internet feed of the pay-per-view has not came in yet. So I had to go to a different link. And I went through 9 links before I actually found one that actually worked, and it cut out again at the end of this match. Lumberjack match, Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose. We go to the ring and it's surrounded by 20 WWE superstars, and Seth Rollins is out first with his Money in the Bank briefcase. This match, my feed was going in and out during the whole thing. As Dean Ambrose was out next to a big pop, they started brawling early on, back and forth. Ambrose went to the top, but Rollins turned him upside down in the tree of woe and stomped away. Fans chant "You sold out" at Rollins as he keeps Ambrose on the mat as Ambrose fights up and out. He ducks a clothesline and he drops Rollins twice. Stardust, Goldust, the Usos, Rob Van Dam, Ryback, Curtis Axel, Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, Titus O'Neil, Big E, Fandango, Sin Cara, Bo Dallas, Cesaro, and Heath Slater were all at ringside as the Lumberjacks. Ambrose suplexes Rollins from the apron onto the group of Lumberjacks. Ambrose started a big brawl with everyone as Ambrose sends Rollins over the barrier and he landed on his knee. Lumberjacks tossed Ambrose back in the ring, but he hits a suicide dive onto him as Ambrose jumped on the announcer's table and runs the barrier to leap on Rollins in the crowd. Rollins and Ambrose fought to the crowd while the Lumberjacks look on from ringside. They followed up the steps. Kane comes out to ringside and yells at the Lumberjacks. Several of them go up the steps to try and bring Rollins and Ambrose back to the ring. Rollins takes out Sin Cara on the steps. Rollins tries to leave and then go back while Ambrose is carried back to the ring. Rollins is met by a group of Lumberjacks at the stage, and they won't let him leave. They carry Rollins back to the ring as Ambrose is waiting on the top rope. And he leaps out, taking Rollins and the Lumberjacks down. Ambrose brings Rollins back in and hits a huge clothesline for a 2 count. More back and forth action as Ambrose uses Rollins' curb stomp and goes for the win. King comes in and clotheslines for a 2 count and a big pop. More back and forth action. At the point where my feed went out again at the end of the match, they were both outside the ring. Ambrose used Rollins' I already said that. Kane comes back in, and the ring's a break, a pinfall up. Goldust gets in Kane's face, but Kane drops him. A huge brawl breaks out in the ring. Now with all the Lumberjacks, it comes down to Ambrose, Rowan, and Harper. He sends them out and turns around to a briefcase shot to the face from Rollins for the win. After the match, then we get replays of the non-stop chaos. Rollins clutches his briefcase and gets some boos as his music plays. We get a look at Chris Jericho and Bray Wyatt's feud. And we got Bray Wyatt and Chris Jericho. We go to the ring. Bray Wyatt makes his way out to a pop as the arena lights up. I did catch my feed coming back on for this match. Chris Jericho is out next to a big pop. The bell rings and they go at it. Jericho ends up on the floor and Wyatt follows. Wyatt stomps away and drops knees. Wyatt sends Jericho's head into the steel steps and brings him back in. Wyatt worked Jericho over, and so some of the crowd starts singing the whole world. He's got the whole world in his hands. More boo as Wyatt sends Jericho into the ring. Wyatt goes to the floor and punches Jericho's head into the ring post as the referee warns him. Wyatt runs and nails Jericho in the head again. Wyatt goes back in and slingshots Jericho's neck under the rope. He poses to a mixed reaction. Wyatt keeps Jericho down with a headlock. The fans rally for Jericho as he gets to his feet. Wyatt takes him back to the mat with a headlock. Wyatt misses the clothesline and eats an enziguri. Jericho goes to the top but lands on his feet. Wyatt with a big clothesline and a splash for a 2 count. Wyatt nails Jericho in the corner again. He charges again but runs into a drop kick from Jericho for a 2 count. Jericho with a big kick to the gut and then the face. Wyatt ducked the clothesline and slammed Jericho hard for a 2 count. Wyatt mounted Jericho with a right hand. And then Wyatt goes for a Sister Abigail, but it's countered with a roll up for a 2. Jericho goes for the walls of Jericho and it's locked in. The hold is broken as he gets his foot under the ropes, not once but twice. The referee didn't see it the first time, it shouldn't have been a count. The hold was broken and they fought to the apron. Wyatt dropped Jericho face first into the apron for a 2 count. Fans do dueling chants as Wyatt goes to the second rope. Jericho cuts him off and climbed up for a Hurricane Rana. Jericho nails it, but Wyatt kicked out at 2. Jericho with a clothesline in the corner. Jericho dodges a few moves and drops Wyatt with a kick. Wyatt turns himself upside down, does a spider walk. Jericho looks on, freaked out. He just stands there. That was his mistake. He should have did the Lions off of that move. More back and forth action. Even the announcer was saying, I think it was Michael Cole or JBL was stating that he should have did the Lions off. As more back and forth action, more feed problems. Even on the reporter. On 2 different devices. Wyatt yells at Jericho. Jericho nails the code breaker for a 2 count. And they go back to the floor. Wyatt drops Jericho with a right hand. Feed comes back. And Wyatt hits a Sister Abigail not once but twice. As the first one he hits into the barrier. Wyatt throws Jericho back in the ring and hits another Sister Abigail for the win. After the match, he takes the mic and sings the whole world in his hand before dropping it and posing. Then we get a look back at the feud between Brie Bella and Stephanie McMahon. This is a good time for the feud to go out, but unfortunately it did not. Back to the ring, out first comes Stephanie McMahon in new ring gear. Yeah, new ring gear. Well, she hadn't wrestled in 10 years. Of course it's going to be new ring gear. Well, it's kind of like a biker type of ring gear with a see-through top part. You get to the breast, and then it goes all black. And then the bottom, it looks like chaps that she's wearing. And you got the kind of like the shorts, type thing, like remember like Scott Steiner type wear, and go from there. And then the chaps underneath with a see-through. Okay, well, back to the they're back to the ring. Out first comes Stephanie McMahon, and like I said, new ring gear. Stephanie marches to the ring, and she's all by herself. Brie Bella is out next, and then they both look ready to fight. They go at it. Stephanie takes to the corner. They break, and Stephanie uses the ropes until the referee makes the 5 count. Brie hits an arm drag. They lock up again, and Brie hits another. Brie dodges the lock up and grabs Stephanie from behind. Stephanie with an elbow to the mouth. Stephanie with her shoulder thrust in the corner. Well, it looked like Brie was busted open as she goes to throw Brie to the mat and works her over in the corner with kicks. Stephanie with more offense in the corner before throwing her to the mat. Stephanie mocks the yes chance now. Brie blocks a slap and fights back. Stephanie dodges the Borgasm lock and slides out of the ring. Brie runs the ropes for a suicide dive, but Stephanie meets her at the ring apron with a big shot to the face. Stephanie starts another Borgasm yes chant. Brie makes it back at 9 count. Stephanie drops her with a DDT for a 2 count. Stephanie keeps control and talks some trash. Brie makes it back. Stephanie with a blockbuster for a 2 count. Fans chant, "You still got it," at Stephanie as she puts a boot to Brie's back. Stephanie continues to put a nice performance on until Brie kicks it in the face to interrupt some trash talking. Stephanie is angry now. She charges, but Brie hits a death press and unloads. Brie with kicks in the corner, and fans do the Borgasm yes chants. Brie gets fired up and tosses Stephanie across the ring. Stephanie looks to try and crawl out of the ring, but Brie grabs her leg and unloads in the corner with more strikes. Brie gets more kicks as the fans chant again. The referee backs her off. Brie then tosses Stephanie by her hair again. Brie goes to the second rope and gets more kick. And gets a pop before hitting a missile drop kick. A great missile drop kick. Booker T style. 2 count by Brie. Brie keeps control, and out comes Triple H. As the referee's counting the 3, he pulls the referee out of the ring. As he's distracting the apron, Nikki also runs out. Stephanie goes for the pedigree, but Brie turns it into the Borgasm lock. Yeah, Triple H yanks the referee out of the ring by his leg, which he acts knocked out as he hits face first to the mat on the floor. Nikki also runs out. Here's the talked about months ago heel turn for one of the Bellas, and it's the heel turn for Nikki. As here was what happened. Nikki Bella also ran out. Stephanie goes for a pedigree, but Brie turned it into a yes lock. Triple H yanked the referee out. Nikki runs in the ring, and Stephanie tries calling out, but Stephanie pleaded with her. Stephanie backs into Brie, and it's between both twins now. Nikki yanks Stephanie out of the way and lays her sister out. Nikki helps Stephanie to her feet and then leaves the ring. Looking at Triple H, Stephanie grabs Brie and hits the pedigree for the win. And of course, the referee is back in the ring now for the 3 count. After the match, Triple H hits the ring to celebrate with Stephanie, and all they make out in the middle of the ring. Nikki looks on from ringside. Stephanie and Triple H talk trash to Brie, and Stephanie poses in the corner as we go to replays. We come back, and Nikki backs her way up the ramp, looking back at the ring as the Authority makes their exit. Stephanie looks to stop and kiss her daughters at ringside. Brie is still laid out in the ring as we go to more replays. The Authority celebrates some more from the stage as officials check on Brie. Then we get more of the show, Us Your Superstar contest winner. And this is another place where the feed could have went out. But I did get to see this next match, Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns. This was a great back and forth match. And I give this the match of the night myself, because the main event kind of sucked from what I read. Because it was all one-sided victory for the new champion. Well, we got Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns. Out first comes Randy Orton. Then we see some history with Roman Reigns as Roman's was out next to a big pop that comes through the crowd. There was a slightly different gear with dark blue trim. So it wasn't much. It just changed color pants in ring gear. The bell rings and they meet in the middle of the ring to have words. Reigns strikes first with right hands. Orton fights back with Reigns hits a headbutt. Orton goes to the floor to regroup, but Reigns cuts him off. Reigns brings Orton back in, but gets kicked. Reigns drops Orton with a back elbow. Reigns takes Orton in the corner and mounts him, but the referee orders him down. Reigns ends up dropping Orton with a big right hand. Reigns tosses Orton out to the floor. Reigns slams Orton's face into the barrier. Orton counters a whip and sends Reigns into the steel steps as Orton brings Reigns back in and covers for a 2 count. Orton keeps control and starts stomping on Reigns as Reigns dodges a big knee drop. They trade shots as Orton whips Reigns into the corner but runs into a boot. Orton with headbutts and punches as Orton climbs up for a superplex and nails it. Orton with a headlock on the mat. Reigns turns it around and goes for a big headlock of his own. So they trade headlocks. Orton fights to his feet and hits a side slam for a 2 count. Orton with another headlock. Reigns counters a move and pulls Orton into a big Samoan drop. The referee counts as they are both down now. They get up and trade shots in the middle of the ring. Reigns with a headbutt, I should say. Reigns took control and hits a right hand off the ropes. Reigns with a clothesline in the corner, a big right hand. And Reigns exits the ring and hits the big kick from the floor to Orton's head. Reigns sends Orton into the barrier. Reigns goes to do it again, but Orton counters and Reigns hits hard. Orton with a shot into the ring post. Orton brings Reigns back in the ring and gets a 2 count. They go back to the floor and Orton sends Reigns back into the ring post and the steps. Orton poses and rolls Reigns back in the ring at the 9 count. Reigns drops Orton on his way back in. They go to stop with Reigns in control. He goes for a superplex, but Orton headbutts him to the mat. Reigns crotches Orton after a big right hand. Reigns climbs back up and nails a big Samoan drop from the second rope. Orton kicks out at 2. Reigns nails a Superman punch, but Orton fought back up and blocked a spear. Nailing a big power scoop slam out of nowhere. Orton with a 2 count, imposed to mostly boos from the crowd. Orton hits a second rope draping DDT. Orton gets the crowd hyping and receives a big pop this time as Reigns blocks the RKO. Orton turns a Superman punch into another RKO out of nowhere as Reigns kicks out at 2. Orton is upset because he can't get the 3 count as while Reigns is still laid out. Orton ready for a punt kick, but Reigns sweeps his leg. Reigns runs the ropes and nails the spear for the win. After the match, Reigns hits a corner to celebrate. Coleslaw calls this the biggest win of his career. As JBL says, it could be a turning point. We go to replays and Reigns continues posing for the fans. As his music plays, we see Orton stumbling up the walkway as Reigns celebrates his win. We get promo for tonight's main event as my feed goes out permanently. Did not get to see one part of this, but they did some type of promo leading up to it, just with Brock Lesnar speaking, and then it ended. And that's why I'm going to the dirt sheets. We go to the ring. Out comes Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman to a mixed reaction. And then John Cena out next, the champion, to a mixed reaction. Cena holds up his never give up towel before heading to the ring with his titles. Lesnar looks on just as Roberts does official ring introductions as Lesnar and Cena stare each other down. The bell rings and they go right at it. Cena runs in, rams Lesnar into the corner as they brawl to the mat. Lesnar pounds on Cena, but Cena gets to his feet. They continue going at it. Lesnar hits a F5 out of nowhere very early in the match. Lesnar gets a 2 count. Lesnar smiles. We get dueling chants for Cena already. Lesnar drops Cena on his head with a big German suplex. There's a total of like 16 German suplexes in this match for Lesnar on Cena. Cena's out of it already, says Cole. Lesnar asks if Cena is going to learn the hard way. Lesnar grabs Cena by his head and nails another big German suplex. Lesnar with a big knee, and then more shots to Cena. Lesnar with another big German suplex. That's 3. As we hear one kid yelling for Cena in the background. Cena takes Lesnar to the corner and unloads out of nowhere. Lesnar sends him to the mat easily and then drives another knee to the ribs. Lesnar keeps Cena grounded and in a hole now as we get some replays as Lesnar continues to manhandle Cena and assigns him back to the mat. Cena gasps for air from his knees to his ribs. Lesnar smiles as he backs Cena into a corner, and then Cena fights out, but Lesnar cuts him off with another knee and then sends him to the mat. Lesnar stands on top of Cena, on top of his hand. Lesnar with 4 more German suplexes. So now we're up to 7 now. Throwing Cena around like a rag doll. Lesnar barely covers Cena for a 2 count. Lesnar with another big knee to the body. Lesnar picks Cena up and nails another German suplex. So that's number 8. Lesnar motions for the referee to check on Cena. As he does, Lesnar drops Cena on his head with another German suplex. That's 9. Referee checks on Cena again. Lesnar laughs as Cena is saying something to the referee. Lesnar goes for another German suplex, but Cena fights out of it, this time with elbows. Cena unloads for his only offense, apparently. And then staggers Lesnar with a clothesline. Cena goes on, but runs into an F5 attempt. Cena slid out and nails the attitude adjustment for a very close 2 count. Like I said, his only offense as Lesnar laughs again and gets up before Cena. Lesnar's last bounces around and tells Cena to bring it. Cena finally gets up and charges, but Lesnar takes him out. Lesnar unloads with tons of right hands. Lesnar hits another German suplex, but doesn't release and hits 4 more total. So that's why we're up to 13-14. Before dumping Cena on his head, Lesnar yells at Cena. JBL says the referee should step in now. Lesnar tells the referee to check on Cena, but he's still in it. Lesnar nails another German suplex. That's 15 and doesn't release, hitting 3 more total. So, and that's what we report. That's at least 17. Lesnar tells the referee to check on Cena again. Some fans are chanting boring now. Lesnar argues with the referee. Cena takes Lesnar's leg out and locks him in STF. Lesnar counters the hold, breaks out, and drops some more bombs on Cena, and then delivers the F5 and a pinfall for the win. SummerSlam goes off the air with Lesnar and Heyman celebrating. Coleslaw informs us that Lesnar hit 16 suplexes on Cena. Well, according to this report, there was 18 on Cena, or at least 17. And after the pay-per-view went off the air, Lana started making some challenges to Lesnar. Maybe they'll have a match for tomorrow, as she wants her man Russev to challenge him for the championship. And that concludes my pay-per-view results for SummerSlam 2014. Thanks again. Peace out. See you when I be. By the way, if you didn't know, you better call me, bro.